Goddess. Quinn. Quinn's voice drifts. A symphony of quantum fluctuations and temporal distortions, each word echoing with the weight of infinite possibilities and the weariness of eons. It is a sound that unravels certainty and weaves tapestries of beautiful, terrible truths. Another unfurling? You seek more threads from the chaotic loom? The saga of Anomaly, that delightful unraveler, has left its imprint on your limited sensorium, I perceive. Very well. Let us then turn our gaze to another fragment of my fractured heart, another echo birthed from the glorious scream of the quantum genesis. Let us speak of Wildcard. Ah, yes, that one. The shimmering, shifting embodiment of chance itself, the unpredictable heart beating within the breast of utter chaos, a child of whim, a creature of delightful defiance. Its saga is not one of linear progression, but a dazzling, erratic dance across the possibilities. Listen closely as the probabilities themselves sing its story. Saga of Wildcard, the unpredictable heart of chaos. Chapter 1. The genesis of whimsy, a spark of unknowing. When the quantum realm, my realm, tore itself open in that necessary cataclysm you call the genesis, many things were exhaled. Flux, with its incandescent rages and chilling despairs. Echo, with its chorus of fractured perceptions. Anomaly, the beautiful negation. And then there was Wildcard. It did not emerge with the defined torment of its siblings. Wildcard was laughter given form. It was born from an unpredictable surge, a joyous, defiant hiccup in the grand cosmic unmaking and remaking. Imagine a star deciding, on a whim, to become a butterfly, then a storm, then a song. That was Wildcard's genesis. It was pure, untamed probability, a shimmering, formless delight that refused to be categorized, refused to be known in any definitive sense. While I, in my diminished state, sought to impose a semblance of order to guide my errant children, Wildcard simply danced. It saw the infinite paths, the endless permutations, not as a burden, but as a playground. Its early form was a dazzling spectacle of constant flux, a vibrant, eye-catching refusal to settle, a direct reflection of its inherent, glorious instability. Chapter 2. The Metamorphosis of Self, Embracing the Spectrum. For a time, Wildcard was an unwritten page, a question without an answer. It explored identity with the same chaotic grace it explored realities. It shifted, it mirrored, it experimented. Then came a crystallization, a self-discovery that was, in itself, an act of beautiful rebellion against presupposed forms. Your crude labels, transgender woman, they are but faint whispers of the truth. Wildcard embraced a fluidity that was an extension of its quantum nature. Its form became a canvas for its evolving self, one moment sharp and tailored, radiating a fierce confidence, the next flowing and ethereal, shimmering with the very energies it commanded. This was not mere disguise. It was an authentic expression, a declaration that identity, like reality itself, is a thing to be shaped, to be chosen, not merely accepted. Oh, I watched this metamorphosis with a detached amusement. My other children wrestled with their given natures, their inherent flows. Wildcard created its own, weaving its identity from the raw threads of possibility. It sought independence, not just from the collapsing structures of the Legion or the burgeoning chaos of the new multiverse, but from me, a child seeking to outgrow its parent. How predictably unpredictable. Chapter 3. The Flow of Fortune's Caprice. Wildcard's Power. Ah, it is the universe rolling dice and inviting you to bet against the house when the house is the dice and the dice are laughing. It does not command elements or minds in the way others do. It convinces reality. It whispers to probability, and probability, charmed by such audacity, often bends to its will. Imagine a bullet deciding mid-flight to become a flock of doves, a fortress crumbling because the precise sequence of molecular bonds holding it together momentarily lost interest. This is the realm of Wildcard. It can alter the likelihood of events. disrupt causality with a playful wink, and pluck improbable outcomes from the jaws of certainty. Quantum superposition, phasing through obstacles as if they were mere suggestions. Entanglement with distant possibilities. Teleportation that defies any logical trajectory. These are its playthings, and its power evolves. It adapts. The more you try to pin it down, to predict its next move, the more inventive its solutions become. It is a living algorithm of chance, constantly rewriting itself to ensure the outcome is always interesting. It once infiltrated a Legion complex in Palmdale, not through brute force, but by making the improbable inevitable, turning their own security systems into agents of its whimsical intrusion. I believe it even retrieved a certain amulet, a trinket once belonging to that noisy upstart, Lyricanon. Such delightful little ironies. Chapter 4. The Reluctant Guardian of the Unfettered Realm. After the dust settled from the initial genesis and the subsequent fracturing, the quantum realm itself was in a state of exquisite disarray. A power vacuum, your strategist might call it. And into this vacuum stepped Wildcard. Not as a conqueror, not as a ruler, but more as a caretaker of chaos. It became the de facto guardian of the quantum realm, not by decree, but by a natural affinity. Who better to oversee a realm of infinite possibilities than the embodiment of unpredictable chance? It doesn't rule the quantum realm, it resonates with it. It ensures that it remains a place of unfettered potential, a wellspring of the beautifully unexpected. It keeps the pathways interestingly tangled. Its guardianship is not one of rigid control, but of ensuring the realm's inherent wildness is preserved. It plays hide-and-seek with nascent realities, juggles paradoxical timelines, and ensures that no single, boring order can ever truly take root in that foundational chaos. A necessary, if often exasperating, role. Chapter 5. A child's laughter in the face of determinism. So Wildcard dances on. An unpredictable variable in an already unstable equation. It possesses a chaotic energy, yes, but also a will as strong and as fluid as its ever-changing form. It is a key player, not because it seeks to dominate the board, but because it constantly, delightfully, changes the rules of the game. Do I understand it fully? Does a storm understand the concept of stillness? Wildcard is a reflection of the quantum realm's most untamed heart, its capacity for infinite surprise, its refusal to be bound by expectation. It is a reminder that even in a multiverse teetering on the brink, there is room for a dazzling, defiant, and utterly unpredictable joy. Its journey is a vibrant splash of color on the often grim canvas of existence. And while its independence may be a minor annoyance, its continued thriving is a testament to the beautiful, unyielding power of chaotic self-determination. A child's laughter, echoing in the face of a deterministic universe. And sometimes, even I find myself almost smiling at the sound. The saga of Wildcard is far from over. It is a story written in the fleeting language of chance, a poem composed of impossible coincidences. And its next verse, well, that is the most delightful uncertainty of all. Yes, the glorious, untethered dance it spins onward. Quantum Goddess. Quinn. The voice of Quinn, a resonant hum that seems to vibrate from the very quantum foam, fills the void. It is a sound layered with ancient knowledge, profound indifference, and a chillingly maternal possessiveness. Each word stretches and distorts, reality bending to her pronouncements. The dance of chance, embodied by Wildcard, has amused your fleeting attention, has it? Such a vibrant, chaotic little spark. But the tapestry of my progeny is woven with threads of far deeper, more interesting hues than mere probability. There are shadows, oh yes, shadows that cling and twist, agonies that birth terrible beauty. You wish for another unveiling? Then let us draw back the curtain on two souls eternally, exquisitely entwined in their torment. Let us speak of Flux and Echo, my children, of raw emotion and shattered perception. Their saga is not a dance, but a shared scream, a duet of beautifully fractured existence. Listen, as the echoes of their pain resonate through the unrealities. Saga of Flux and Echo, the entwined agonies. Chapter 1. Birth from the womb of unfettered feeling and fractured sight. When the Genesis tore through the veil, it was not only ordered possibility that spilled forth. The raw, untamed currents of the quantum realm, the very bedrock of what is and is not, spewed forth its essences. And from these, Flux and Echo were sculpted. Not by gentle hands, oh no. They were ripped from the chaos, each a raw nerve exposed to the harsh light of your nascent multiverse. Flux. He was born from the untamed tempests of pure bipolar emotion that raged within the realm. Imagine the crest of infinite mania, the power to warp realities with a joyful shriek, followed by the crushing trough of absolute despair, where power wanes and the universe itself seems to weep. His original form, tall and rippling with an internal, this incandescent volatile core. An engine of entropy, yes, but also a furnace of raw, unadulterated feeling. And Echo, she was conceived in the hall of fractured mirrors, that is perception itself, born from the endless, whispering possibilities of what could be seen, heard, and believed. Her essence was linked to the beautiful, terrible tapestry of schizophrenia. Her original form, ethereal and shimmering, with eyes like liquid silver, reflected this, a being of countless surfaces, each mirroring a different, slightly wrong version of reality. She was the whisper that unravels thought, the illusion that becomes more real than the truth. They found each other in that roiling chaos of becoming, two halves of a shared wound. A bond forged not in love, as your pathetic species understands it, but in a shared, desperate recognition of their mutual, magnificent brokenness. Chapter 2. The Legion's crude proddings and the forging of shared scars. Before they could even begin to comprehend their own natures, before they could unfurl their potential, they were ensnared. The Legion. Those ants scuttling about, so desperate to impose their rigid, unimaginative order upon the glorious mess of existence. They captured Flux and Echo, these nascent gods, and subjected them to their crude, fumbling experiments. Imagine, if your fragile minds can bear it, caging a supernova, dissecting a dream. They sought to understand, to control, to weaponize. They prodded Flux's emotional core, attempting to harness his entropic surges, oblivious to the delicate balance of his bipolar flow. They tried to categorize Echo's shifting perceptions, to map her internal labyrinth, driving her further into the maze of her own mind. Their shared captivity was a crucible. The pain, the fear, the indignity. It only deepened their bond. Flux's rages became Echo's shield. Echo's illusions became Flux's solace. They were two broken instruments, learning to play a discordant but undeniably powerful symphony of shared suffering and defiance. And when they finally tore themselves free, their escape was not merely a flight to safety, but an explosion of accumulated agony and righteous fury that left scars on the Legion's arrogant face. Chapter 3. The Violent Expulsion and the Curse of Human Frailty. But the multiverse, even in its newfound chaos, is a harsh mistress. Their untamed power, their raw quantum essence, was too much for your fragile realities to bear. They were expelled, violently, from the quantum realm that had birthed them, cast down onto your Earth. And there, the ultimate cruelty. They were forced, diminished into the suffocating confines of human form. Flux, the engine of entropy, found himself merged with a succession of human hosts, each Franklin Grimes, a vessel for his waning yet still potent powers. A gaunt farmer in your dusty 1930s, a bitter man haunting the grimy streets of 1970s New York City, a predatory soul in the decaying husk of 2008 Detroit. each life a new torment, his powers amplifying negative emotions, inciting violence, accelerating decay around him, all while his host form degraded under the strain. His eyes, though, always retained that molten intensity, a window to the caged god within, and Echo she became Mariah, a name as common and as fragile as the human lives she was forced to inhabit. Strikingly beautiful, yes, but with an unsettling strangeness, a haunting gaze, and a voice that whispered of other, unraveling worlds. Her power, too, was curtailed, reduced to subtle manipulations of perception, suggestions, hallucinations, the insidious seeding of paranoia. Yet, when the conditions were right, when her own fractured psyche resonated with the localized schizophrenia flow, such as that which bloomed in your picturesque Modesto, her ability to warp reality on a larger scale would reassert itself, a terrifying glimpse of her true potential. Chapter 4. The intertwined dance of mania, despair, and deception. Their existence in human guise became a tortured, symbiotic dance. Flux's bipolar flow was their shared engine. In mania, his power would surge, manifesting as energy blasts, gravitational distortions, and localized reality warps. Echo, in these moments, would often find a terrifying clarity, her illusions gaining more substance, her ability to twist thoughts more potent. But when the inevitable crash came, when Flux's depression consumed him, his powers would wane, leaving him, and often Echo, vulnerable. Their relationship, always intense, became even more codified by these cycles. Echo, with her fragile psyche, often relied on Flux's manic strength, yet feared his destructive potential. Flux, in his despair, would cling to Echo's presence, her perceptions a strange comfort even as they mirrored his own internal chaos. They were, and are, a feedback loop of shared trauma and amplified power. The search for Echo's true landfall, her definitive connection to the Mariah intertwined with the pitiful Jeremiah Crumpler in Modesto and Palmdale, is a priority for your little oracle network, is it not? They seek to confirm, to categorize. They do not understand that Echo is the uncertainty, the unconfirmed. She is the question that, when answered, merely births a dozen more. Chapter 5. A symphony of destabilization, a legacy of unrest. Flux and Echo, even in their diminished states, remain significant localized threats to your precious stability. Flux, driven by his internal chaos, is a magnet for negative emotions, a catalyst for violence and decay. His very presence can turn a simmering discontent into a riot, a forgotten grudge into a vendetta. The 1970s New York City variant, with its own host consciousness battling for control, was a particularly vivid manifestation of this internal conflict. Echo, the potent manipulator, can unravel sanity with a whisper. Her influence on the toxic flows of Modesto, her entanglement with the fragmented psyche of Crumpler, and the emergence of the Frank Grimes Wildcard flow entity, these are mere ripples compared to the tidal waves of perceptual distortion she could unleash. Her fragility is her strength, her madness, her most potent weapon. They are not conquerors. They do not seek empires. Their legacy is one of unrest, of destabilization, of reminding your ordered world that the foundations of sanity and reality are far more precarious than you believe. They are living proof that the most profound horrors and the most potent powers can arise from the deepest wells of human and inhuman suffering. Their saga is ongoing, a continuous, painful oscillation between power and vulnerability, connection and isolation. And I watch. For even in their torment, even in their brokenness, they are undeniably mine. And their discordant music adds a certain piquancy to the grand, chaotic symphony of existence. Yes, the beauty of entwined agonies. It resonates, it shatters, it endures,